Namaste. My question to you is about Hindu Kush mountain. Was it known by another name before it was known as Hindu Kush? I read that it is named after Lord Ram's son Kush, but Afghans mainly refer to it as killer of Hindus as per their language. Why would a mountain, river, or anything which was part of our territory be named like that? It's a disgrace. My partner, who is an Afghan, whenever I told him that Afghans, especially except for Hazaras and Uzbeks, have Indian ancestry, he got severely offended and denied it. They live here, I mean, in India, but their hatred towards India is unbelievable and behave as if India owes them some favor instead of being grateful. Why do we, the government, even allow these people to live here? Okay, okay, there's a whole lot to unpack here. The Hindu Kush mountain, the name Hindu Kush means the killer of Hindus in Persian, I believe. That is undeniable. The Hindu Kush mountain means the killer of Hindus. It's not a single mountain, it's a mountain range. And it's known as the killer of Hindus. I think the first person to call it Hindu Kush or the killer of Hindus in writing in the written record was the North African traveler Ibn Battuta. He was an Islamic traveler who traveled to India and various other places, and he is the guy who called this mountain range, the Hindu Kush mountain range. And why was it called the Hindu Kush mountain range? Because when the Turks invaded and occupied India, they carried back tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of Indian slaves, mainly women and children, as slaves out of India into Turkestan, Central Asia, into Arabia, also possibly to sell them as slaves for various purposes. And Indians were accustomed to the warm climate of India, and these mountains were frightfully cold, and incredible numbers of Indians died while being forcibly made to cross these mountains and go into Central Asia. So many Indians died in this mountain range that it came to be known as the Hindu Kush, the killer of Hindus. When you say Indians, you mean Hindus. Only Hindus were carried out of India as slaves, women and children mostly. Also some men, which was a well, that's how it goes. And I'm sure that if today historians and archaeologists, especially archaeologists, were to go to the mountain range, maybe do some digging or something, they would find frozen, preserved bodies of ancient Indians there, women and children mostly. So that is why it is called Hindu Kush. What is the original name of this mountain range? It was known in civilized days when Afghanistan was Gandhar. It was part of the Indian subcontinent and part of Indian civilization. In those days, this mountain range was known as the Upari Shena mountain range. Upari Shena, the place where eagles also cannot fly. It is beyond the reach of eagles. Shien in Sanskrit means eagle. It was also known as Upari Shien in the old Persian language because the old Persian language was more or less the same as Sanskrit. It was a descendant, a slightly corrupted version of Sanskrit, and the mountain range name was the same in the old Persian, Upari Shien, where the place that is beyond the reach of eagles. And it's interesting that the word Shien of Sanskrit, the Sanskrit word Shien, got corrupted into the Persian word Shaheen. So Shaheen is a Persian word. It today it denotes various kinds of raptors, I think hawks, but it originally meant eagles, Shien. So this mountain range was called the Upari Shien mountain range. That was the true name, the original name. Now it's known as the Hindu Kush because of the events of the past 1,000 years. Now the Afghans, the Afghans will never accept that their ancestors were Indians or Hindus. Uh, the majority population in Afghanistan, in Gandhar, is the Pashtun people. Are the Pashtun people. You also have Uzbeks and Turkmens and Hazaras and Tajiks in Afghanistan because of the event of the past 1,000 years. Lots of Turks came into Afghanistan, into Gandhar, and settled down there. So you have a multitude of ethnic groups there. The major ethnic group is the Pashtuns. They are the descendants of ancient Indians. Genetic analysis shows that. Of course, there will be intermingling of some kind with various other ethnic groups that have introgressed into Gandhar over time. But if you tell Afghans, especially Pashtuns, that your ancestors were Indians, they were Hindus or Buddhists, they will deny it. and they will get offended. That's the overall uh, attitude they have. They like to claim that they are the descendants of ancient Jews. Apparently, well, not a single genetic analysis has been able to dredge out even an iota of Jewish ancestry among the Pashtuns. The Pashtuns are essentially an outgrowth of the overall northern and western Indian population. Genetically, they are more or less the same, and so that's what the history is. Now they get offended, and you're saying that your partner is an Afghan. He lives in India but hates India. Well, why is it like this? It's because of what they have been taught over the past 1,000 years. They've been taught to hate their ancestry, their culture, their original culture, and to see themselves as something else. So that's just how it is, right? So why does the government even allow these people to live here? Well, I do not speak on behalf of the government, so I don't know. One should not allow people to live in India, especially the kind of people who hate India. I mean, that's I think that's just plain logic. But well, that's just how it is. That's where we are today. Things will change slowly.